All right, guys. Thank you, Ben. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nadun. I began my career as a software engineer and been in the industry for over 15 years. I worked with companies like Telstra, building internal tools and security software. My specialty is building web and mobile applications. And now I'm applying that experience to solve real-world problems at Brolly. I'll be referring to my phone for some notes to keep my thoughts clear. Please bear with me. All right, so as Ben mentioned, we build an app to connect borrowers and lenders. When users have a bit of spare money, they can put that onto our app and become a lender. And when a borrower comes in, we match that borrower request with an available lender. That is the basic foundation of Brolly. At Brolly, lenders transfer their cash into a secure wallet and becomes instantly available for our borrowers to borrow. Borrowers apply for a loan through the app to access these funds, and Brolly can service these requests within 30 seconds. In order for us to achieve this, we partnered with 3 Australian companies, and the first one is Frankie One. Whoever comes onto our app has to go through Frankie One that conducts 3 user credibility checks. So the first one is the user identification check using biometrics and Australian passports or driver's licenses. And the second, checking whether the user passes the anti-money laundering checks. And the third is making sure that this particular user is not a political liability to Brolly. Once they qualify these tests, we pass that user over to Basic. So Basic allows us to access banking data with users' consent through open banking technology. This data helps us to conduct user affordability checks and identify income patterns. And also we use this data for risk decisioning and credit assessment. And now our third and final partner is Manua, accredited payment gateway here in Australia, and who moves money in and out from our app. All user wallets, real-time transactions are handled instantly by Manua. So basically, Brolly is a combination of all these technologies working together towards a common goal. As a tech company, what we want to achieve is to make a platform that is fully autonomous, which reduces the administration cost for us. By reducing that cost, we can pass that benefit on to our end users. At the same time, we need to make sure the platform is fully efficient, because making an efficient platform in social lending space is very crucial so that we have no underutilized lender funds. The platform constantly making sure the interest rates are calculated right down to the second for our lenders, and our borrowers are funded instantly. So at Brolly, we built 4 core solutions from the ground up to ensure a scalable and efficient lending ecosystem. And they are the risk engine, portfolio optimization engine, funds distribution engine, and a dashboard for real-time platform KPIs. Let's talk about the risk engine, which is one of the most critical components of Brolly. In any high-risk, high-value financial model like peer-to-peer lending, credit risk assessment is key. Our risk engine is designed to minimize loan defaults while making sure platform stays scalable as we grow. So how it works: when a borrower joins our platform and requests a loan, we gather data through Frankie One for identity and compliance, and Basic for real-time financial analytics. This data flows into our risk engine, which evaluates borrowers' financial position. From there, the engine determines 2 key things. One is the loan serviceability. Can they realistically afford the loan? And the second one is their risk category, which means what are the chances of the borrower defaulting the loan. Based on these 2 outputs, we calculate a suitable loan amount. By combining eligibility criteria with deep transaction analytics, we ensure loans are only offered to borrowers we believe can be trusted to repay, reducing risk for lenders, building confidence in the system. So while the process seems very simple to the user, there's a lot going on behind the scene, making sure the right decisions are made every time. And looking ahead, the next phase of this model is to integrate a large language model trained on historical lending data, repayment behavior, and transaction patterns. This will allow the risk engine to continuously improve its decision making, adapting in real time and delivering smarter, faster credit assessments at scale. Now let's move on to how we optimize fund allocation across the platform. One of the biggest challenges in peer-to-peer lending is managing liquidity and risk across diverse borrower base. We need to ensure that lender funds are being used efficiently while also protecting them from overexposure to bad debt. That's where our portfolio optimization engine comes in. Currently, we use a rule-based optimizer built on a non-linear programming model. It considers specific constraints like risk category, serviceability, and loan demand to allocate funds across various loan products. What you are seeing on the pie chart is a visual representation of how the engine spreads risk across different loan tiers. The goal is simple: maximize fund utilization while minimizing risk. So the platform remains liquid, balanced, and sustainable as we scale. And looking ahead, just like with our risk engine, we are evolving this system by introducing AI and machine learning. By analyzing borrower behavior and platform dynamics in real time, we'll shift from a rule-based logic to an intelligent, adaptive allocation, enabling smarter, faster portfolio decisions that grow with the platform. All right, let's now talk about how Brolly handles funds distribution, which is a key to keeping both new and existing lenders engaged and fairly utilized. One of the challenges we identified earlier on was, how do we make sure that existing lender funds are reused efficiently while still giving priority to new lenders so that they stay active and engaged? To solve this, we created what we call the funds distribution engine. So when a borrower request comes in, our balancer routes it intelligently. By default, 80% of requests are matched using existing lender funds and 20% are allocated to new lender funds. This hybrid approach means we can keep money circulating, increase platform liquidity, and still reward new lenders with opportunities to fund loans. We also apply a proportional matching logic. So if lender A has $1,000 and lender B has $2,000, their contribution to borrower requests are weighted accordingly. You can see in this simple example at the bottom, Zoe and David get funded not randomly, but fairly based on their lender pool sizes. It's all about building a sustainable lending loop that's transparent, fair, and scalable. To effectively manage a financial platform like this, we need full visibility into how it's performing in real time. We've structured it around 4 KPI categories. The first one is the numeric KPIs, things like total active users, number of borrowers, and number of lenders. This gives us general sense of platform interaction and growth. Next is the financial KPIs to track metrics like total funds under contract, fund utilization, and default rates. These helps us to understand financial performance and lending dynamics of the platform. Then we have a platform assessment KPIs, which include borrower and lender approval rates, churn rates, and ratios, all critical to ensure our marketplace remains balanced and efficient. And finally, cost KPIs gives us insight into how much it costs to serve each user, helping us to manage scalability and unit economics as we grow. All right, let me tell you a little bit about the application release and the test strategy. Starting with the test strategy, we've already completed unit and integration testing across all key services, including Manua, Basic, and FrankieOne, that covered both functional and integration testing end-to-end. Next, we've done load and performance testing to validate the app backend infrastructure. to make sure that it can scale reliably under real-world conditions. We are now in the user acceptance testing phase, where a focus group is validating the overall user experience as we transition from alpha to beta and eventually to public launch. In parallel, we've engaged with a company called CyberCX to perform a full penetration test across our app, AWS backend, and the web platform, ensuring we go live with robust security. Now, looking at the release stages, stage 1 was our alpha release, which launched in March and was tested with a small group of users. The focus there was to identify bugs and gather early feedback. We are currently preparing for our stage 2, the beta release, which is scheduled for end of May. This release will include all fixes from the alpha and will be launched on the Apple App Store. It will be made available for a broader group of users selected from our waitlist. This phased rollout allows us to thoroughly test, iterate, and scale before going fully public. As you can see, while the idea of connecting two peers is very simple, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. So we're now at the final stage of development and testing, and we are excited to soon share what we've built with the community. That's it from me, and now I'll hand over to Steve to continue the presentation. Thank you.